Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, today we will continue on the videos part 2. So, in this chapter, you will learn on the cost of debt and overall cost of capital. So, in this chapter, kita akan more focus on the cost of debt and WACC and WMCC. Okay, first of all, you have to know what is cost of debt. So, cost of debt is a rate of return that a firm must pay the lenders or creditors. Maksud dia lebih kepada debt holder ataupun bond holder. I just take here as BH or debt holder. So there are two types of debt, which is the irredeemable debt and redeemable debt. So apa tu irredeemable debt? That is, if the debt or debentures atau bond are to be held indefinitely, is called a irredeemable bond. Kalau redeemable debt is a cost or internal rate of return ataupun we call as IRR of the cash flow involved. So the one is redeemable debt and the second one is irredeemable debt. So dalam redeemable debt, kita kena tahu the interest yang kita terlibat dalam redeemable debt. Kita akan guna ataupun kita akan refer on the schedule, on the jadual yang kita akan guna, which is PVIFA, which mean that this one A untuk annuity, sebab interest kita akan dapat every month ataupun every year, so we call as annuity. Tapi kalau maturity, it is a capital debt at redemption on maturity. Maksud dia, kita akan dapat debt ataupun debt tu on the bila sampai tempoh matang. So it is a maturity date. So kita akan refer jadual yang bukan annuity. Annuity just untuk interest. However, maturity untuk kita akan refer on PVIF schedule. So it is the same way, which means that untuk calculate the cost of debt, kita kena kira market price minus dengan flotation cost. Any cost that incurred in the firm. Any cost yang incurred, macam yang kita dah belajar in the past video, kita dah belajar flotation cost is the cost yang kita kena bayar disebabkan legal fees ke, account fees ataupun audit fees. Okay, all related fees kita kena kira dalam net price dalam cost of debt. So the next, you have to know that redeemable debt, which means that this one have a complicated calculation. Is more complicated calculation for redeemable debt, as you have to work out the IRR of set of cash flow. So kita kena find the IRR, which means that yang tadi internal rate required return, that give NPV close to 0. There will be two IRR values. Don't forget to interpolate the IRR values. So bila kita buat redeemable debt, you have to know that kita kena interpolate the info. Kita kena try to interpolate the information. So we need to find two IR. So benda ni you akan more clear when we are go through on the example after this slide. So apa formula interpolation? Bila kita kira redeemable debt, kita kena use this formula to interpolate. So this one we call as interpolate process. So apa formula when you do the redeemable debt? The first is positive NPV rate. So rate ni maksud dia percentage, in percentage, plus positive NPV RM bahagi dengan total RM positive NPV plus RM negative NPV. So bila ada the word RM, this one is in RM. Times with higher rate minus lower rate. So actually, when you do the redeemable debt formula, bila you try untuk calculate redeemable debt, it's based on our judgment. Sebab kita nak find rate, this one, kita nak cari rate yang dapat kita punya NPV satu positif and satu lagi negatif. So the cost of debt must be after tax because interest is paid before tax. So yang macam kita belajar video part 1, preferential is a non-deductible untuk tax. Tapi untuk kita kira cost of debt, kita kena deduct by tax. So KD yang kita dapat, dia adalah before tax cost of debt. So kita kena kira after tax cost of debt. So this is the formula. You have to remember. And please, I hope that everyone list out everything formula, which mean that kalau cost of equity, apa formula yang terlibat untuk KE, KNE, and what is the formula incurred untuk KD, which mean cost untuk preferred share. Kalau KD is untuk cost of debt, tapi KP for cost of preferred share. So try untuk list out everything in your notes. So nanti bila test ataupun bila you have quiz ke, at least you may refer the notes. Okay, so we continue. For irredeemable debt, so the formula is KD equal to interest divided by net market price. This one is untuk irredeemable debt. So kita guna formula ni, tapi kita dah state as KD is before tax cost of debt. So we have to calculate after tax cost of debt. So you have to calculate after you calculate this one, you got KD, you have to calculate this one untuk kira after tax. Ingat, kalau debt, kita mesti tolak after tax cost of debt. Okay. So this one is the same, which means that net market price equal to market price minus with flotation cost. Okay, this is the example of cost of debt untuk redeemable debt. Okay, first you have to, okay, I hope bila you tengok video ni, you are behind your slide so that you can refer, when I explain to you, you can refer to your notes. Okay, so first, example 1, redeemable debt. So, dia dah beritahu 8% interest rate of debentures at a market price. So, you state out market price 1,200 to be issued to the new debenture holders at par value 1,000. Flotation cost is 3% of selling price. So 3% will times to the selling price, which means selling price is 1,200. So the debentures holder will redeem, dia akan redeem their debentures after 10 years maturity period at par value. So 10 years. So this one is maturity period. So you have to state in another papers, you just state that 10 years at maturity period. So the corporate rates is 25%. So this one sebab kita nak kira after tax kejap lagi. So those information you have to list out first kalau ada soalan macam ni. And then another tips dalam cost of debt yang you kena tahu, I hope that everyone can hear the tips that I have given in the last video, and for this video also have another tips, which is that the interest, this one, interest rate, dia sama function macam dividend. So interest rate kita akan times with par value, PV, par value. So senang I state here, par value. So dia tak boleh 8% darab 1200. So dia 8% must time with 1000 sebab interest rate sama dengan dividend. Dividend kita akan times with par value. Sama juga macam interest rate. Okay, I hope everyone take note. Okay, what is the answer? How the solution yang kita boleh buat untuk redeemable debt? So, first thing, bila ada soalan tadi, we have to calculate dia punya net proceed ataupun net profit ataupun net market price ataupun kita call as NP0. So, apa formula untuk NP0? Dia adalah market rate. So, there is a market price minus dengan FC. So, market price dia minus dengan FC. So, market price dia sekarang adalah 1200. Dia minus dengan yang kita kira tadi, flotation cost dia adalah 3% daripada market price. So, 3% times with 1200, you will get the answer of this one, 1164. So, you put here 1164. That is your net CF, this one, net cash flow. Maksudnya cash flow yang first yang you dapat. And the second, you have to calculate the interest. Interest dia dah bagi tahu 8%. So, tadi tips yang I cakap, 8% tu kena times with dia par value. So, 8% times with 1000, you will get 80 ringgit. So, 80 ringgit you will put on this side. Okay, apa maksud year 1 sampai year 10? This one, apa yang kita dapat tiap-tiap tahun adalah interest. Okay, this one is interest. I just buat I so that everyone have clear. Wait. So this one I just put I. So this one is interest. Interest yang dia dapat setiap tahun, 80 ringgit. So, apa yang maksud year 10? Year 10 ni adalah dia punya maturity ataupun amount yang dia dapat after 10 years. Okay, I hope this one is maturity sebab I just tulis pakai mouse, so I susah. So everyone clear, this one is maturity. So berapa amount yang dia dapat? Macam ni kita tahu 1000 sebab dalam soalan dia dah state yang kata on the par value dia akan dapat 1000. Okay, so this one dah clear macam mana. And then this third yang kita kena tahu, kita nak set satu positive and satu negative. So this one you have to assumption. There's no right, there's no wrong. So, macam mana kita nak, kita sendiri yang pilih percentage dalam jadual. Okay. I hope everyone can open the PV tables yang I dah letak dalam Google Classroom. So, everyone can see the table ada dua. Satu annuity, satu PVIF. So, satu PVIFA, which mean that the A is annuity. Annuity untuk mana? Untuk interest. You have to know what is annuity. Annuity adalah bayaran yang sama berulang-ulang setiap tahun. So, kenapa kita kena guna jadual tu? Sebab memang interest kita akan dapat every year. So, PVIF is berapa yang kita akan dapat pada tempoh matang, which mean the maturity at the maturity date, berapa yang kita akan dapat. Okay, so usually percent this one and this one tak akan bagi dalam questions. So, macam mana kita nak tetapkan? Berapa yang kita boleh tetapkan? Okay, you look back at the question. The question have stated that the interest rate dalam soalan ni adalah 8%, right? So, daripada 8%, you boleh choose 5% higher atau 5% lower daripada interest rate yang dia bagi dalam soalan. Contoh, kalau 8%, you boleh ambil 7%, 6%, 5%, 4%, 3%. So, dalam maksudnya 5% bawah atau 5% atas daripada dalam interest rate yang diberikan dalam soalan. Okay, for these questions, I have choose 5%, which mean that dalam 8% kan kita boleh 5% ke bawah. So, 7%, 6%, 5%, so I choose of 5%. So, macam mana kita nak kira this one? We have to refer to the schedule. Kita akan refer dalam jadual. So, dalam jadual, you pergi untuk interest, this one, on this side, you have to go to the table of annuity. You find out 5%. So, for berapa years? You tengok this one ada 10 years. So, 5%, 10 years, you will get the answer of 7.7 to 17 kalau tak silap. Sebab this one dia dah round up, so jadi 7.722. Tapi kalau dalam jadual, if I'm not mistaken, 7.717 217 tak silap I lah. So yang tu tak kisah kalau you nak ambil 3 titik perpuluhan ataupun just kalau in my class I suggest you to just take apa yang tulis dalam table. So kalau table tu ada 4 angka, so you just 4 titik perpuluhan, you just take sama macam schedule yang dah state. Okay, so when you have refer to the table, you have to times 80 times with the 7.72. You will get the NPV of 617.76. So, sama juga yang kedua, tapi yang kedua, you tak boleh refer on table annuity sebab kita akan dapat maturity on maturity date. So you have to refer another schedule yang PVIF yang bukan annuity. So you check on the 5% at 10 years, you will get the answer of 0.6139 dalam jadual, and bila you times with 100, you will get 613.90. And you will get the answer of 1231.66. So, bila you dapat ni, you have to deduct, tolak. Bila tolak, you akan dapat positive NPV. So this one you have achieved. So you nak kena cari lagi satu negatif. Macam mana? So kan tadi I dah cakap whether kita boleh pilih 5% dari ke bawah atau 5% ke atas daripada kita punya percentage interest dalam soalan. So maksud dia dah tadi kita buat yang ke bawah daripada 5%. So this one is more than 5%. Maksud dia daripada dalam soalan tadi 8. So kita boleh ambil 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I don't want yang kita nak pilih on this interest rate. Tak salah. So I have choose 9%. So kaedah dia sama je. You just look at the annuity table and PVIF table. So you times with the net cash flow 80 times with 6.418, you will get the answer of 513.44. So bila you dapat jawapan dua-dua, you plus and you have to minus with the net profit yang kita dapat NPO. This one. So you will get negative. So when you have negative, you have achieved the RM and PV section. So you just put, so your interpolation, the IRR, you have to calculate. So you put in the formula, which means the positive NPV adalah rate. You have to know this one is rate. So mana yang positif, ni ke ni? So this one lah kan? This one positive. So yang mana satu yang amount yang melibat positif is 5%. So that's why you put here as 5% plus positive NPV RM. So this one in dalam ringgit. So RM67.66 bahagi dengan RM67.66 plus bila negatif you have to put in bracket. So maksud dekat sini bila ada macam ni, you janganlah lupa untuk negatifkan dia. Maksud dia positif dalam kurungan negatif 228.16. So RM67.66 you have to plus and deduct RM228.16 times with the higher rate, this one minus with lower rate. So you will get 5.91%. And you have apa-apa kalau dalam KD, you have to remember after tax. We have to deduct after tax. So 5.91% times with the 1 minus 25%. So you will get 4.43%. So this is how you calculate for redeemable debt. That's why dalam info tadi dia dah cakap redeemable debt is very complicated. However, kalau kita buat banyak latihan and then you have to know sebab it is based on our judgement. This is only try and error. So kalau in case kalau you kira-kira you choose the percentage but tiba-tiba the answer yang you dapat dua-dua positif. So you have to change you punya percentage. So bila you dapat change you punya percentage, pastikan you dapat satu positif and satu negatif. Itu je clue dia. So this one is how you calculate the redeemable debt. So this is the jadual yang I dah bagi dalam Google Classroom. So macam mana cara dia tadi? If I'm not mistaken, 5% untuk annuity is 7.7217 and for 9% you will get 64177. So ni you boleh cara dia, you tengok percentage berapa and period dia berapa lama. Period is on this one. So that's why you put this. Contoh kalau dalam soalan tu 15, so you tengoklah the period tahun pertama ke, 10 ke. That is how you look at the table. So sama juga, this one the table of PVIF. So yang tadi PVIFA untuk annuity, this one untuk PVIF. Okay, this is the example 2. Also you can try untuk faham. It is a same just like the past slide yang I dah tunjuk kat you. First, dia cakap nak issue a corporate bond at premium of 10% from the par value of 1,000. And then the flotation cost is 5% of issue value and the interest rate of 5% per annum. Corporate bond can be redeemed at maturity period of 10 years at par value. Calculate the cost of debt, and this one is 25%. So, hope that everyone have tried to, kalau ada soalan macam ni, you have to list out. Okay, 10% adalah untuk premium. Premium maksud dia, nanti dia punya par value tu akan jadi higher lah. Which mean that 1,100 sebab premium. Premium which mean that the amount is higher daripada par value. So, kalau premium of 10%, maksud dia increase of 10% daripada par value. 10% time with 1,000, you will get 100 and you have to add par value. So, 1,000 tambah dengan 100, you will get the net price NPO, NP, market share dia akan jadi 1,100. Kalau NPO, apa formula dia adalah market price minus dengan flotation cost. So, you have to minus with the 5%. So, we just go through the answer. Okay, this is cost of debt. Issue at premium 1,000 times with 1.10, 1.10 equal to 1,100. Dia sama je kalau you buat 10% times with 1K. Actually, dia sama je. Cuma, you have to add on balik. Kiranya 1,000, you have to plus with 100. So, you can get 1,100. And flotation cost is 5% daripada 1,100. So, you can get 55 ringgit. And the NPO yang you akan dapat here is NPO ataupun NP0 lah, 1,045 ringgit. And the interest is 5%. You have to remember tips yang I bagi tahu tadi, dividend and debt ataupun dividend and interest, you have to times with the par value. So, par value kat sini adalah 1,000. So, 5% times with 1,000. So, you will get 50 ringgit. So, ini macam biasa, this one is interest, this one is maturity. And you have to put back for interest 50 ringgit and for at the maturity date is a 1,000 at the par value. So, macam mana kita nak tahu year 1 kita? This one, our net price ataupun net profit. You will get 1,045. So, macam yang saya cakap tadi, after we know, after kita dah isi kita punya cash flow, kita akan pergi refer dekat jadual. Jadual untuk interest adalah annuity, PVIFA. Kalau untuk maturity adalah PVIF. So, dalam 5%, we have to remember back Kalau dalam yang macam saya cakap tadi, kita boleh, macam mana kita nak set kan, kita boleh pilih, kita boleh anggarkan berapa percentage yang kita nak dapat untuk dapatkan positif NPV dengan negatif NPV. So, macam saya kata tadi, kita boleh pilih 5% above atau 5% below daripada percentage interest dalam soalan. Dalam soalan, kita tahu percentage yang dibagi adalah 5%. So, you can choose below than 5%, which means that 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. So, everything yang you boleh kira. Ataupun you boleh ambil atas. So, this one we call as atas 5%. This one is below than 5%. So, after you dah pilih, you nak use 5%, you just tengok period time and just refer to the table lah. So, when you times this one and this one, you will get the answer. And you have to add up this one. After you add, and you minus with the year yang kita dapat lah, NP0 ni. And then you akan dapat negatif. Bila you dapat negatif, dah settle untuk negatif RM NPV. So, cari yang positif pula. Dengan cara you lowerkan lagi. So, 4%. If we choose 4%, 50 times with 8.1109, you will get 405 ringgit 50 cents, and 1000 times with the 0.656, so you will get the amount of this one. So you have to plus and you have the answer. Lepas tu you kena minuskan dua ni. You have to minus both two, you akan dapat positif. So, you akan achieve untuk kita buat interpolation the IRR. So, IRR untuk KD adalah 4%. 4% ni yang positif. You have to remember the rate yang amount yang kita dapat positif. So, this one 4%. So, the answer, you just masukkan balik, you akan dapat 4.44%. So, the KD after tax adalah KD 1 minus tax. You will get the answer of 3.33%. Okay, this is the example untuk redeemable debt. So, you have to remember this one for redeemable debt. So, redeemable debt, you kena letak sendiri you punya percent. Either it is 5% atas daripada soalan yang dah soalan bagi ataupun below percentage yang daripada soalan bagi. So, next kita masuk kepada irredeemable debt. So, irredeemable debt ni yang saya dah explain tadi, dia lagi mudah. Sebab kita just ambil interest. This one is the formula. Interest divided by NP0. NP0 adalah market price minus with the flotation cost. So, maksud dia irredeemable debt ni lebih jelas, lagi senang. Dia tak payah you nak refer to PV ataupun you nak refer to the PVIFA table. So, the question is ABC company has issued loan of 100 nominal value with annual interest of 9% per year perpetuity. Perpetuity maksud dia annuity lah, based on the nominal value. The current market price of loan stock is 90 ringgit. What is the cost of loan stock? So, KD equal to 9% times with the 100, sebab kita nak tahu interest kan, and then divide by NPO, sebab this one tak ada flotation cost. Jadi kita just ambil current market price. So RM90. So you will get 10%. Okay, this one is not before tax. So you have to calculate after tax cost of debt. You have to use this formula. Sama juga yang macam redeemable debt. So 10%, 1 minus 0.25, you will get 7.5%. So this one always has issue 10% loan notes on nominal value 100. The market price is RM90. Flotation cost is RM5. Calculate cost of this capital if the debentures is irredeemable debt. So 10% times with the 100 sebab dia dah bagi tahu at the nominal value. And untuk dapat NPO, kita dah belajar kata market price, this market price have to deduct with the flotation cost RM5. So this one, and you will get 11.76%. But this is before tax. You have to calculate after tax cost of debt. So you have to use this formula. You will get 8.82%. So you have already covered for the first step. Kita dah kira on the first step. If you remember, kita dah sentuh on the weighted average cost of capital, which is by step. WACC ni kita guna untuk kira cost of capital dalam this chapter. So, untuk first step kita dah habis cover. So, kita dah kira macam mana nak kira KE, macam mana nak kira KNE, macam mana nak kira KP and KD. So, everything we have calculate. So, sekarang kita masuk on the next step. So, we have to determine the weight of debt, preference stock and common stock to be used in financing of future investment. So, cara dia macam mana? The value of capital contribute by each component divide by the total value of capital all components. So, macam mana? Okay, this one. Weight of financing. WOF. So, Present Sdn Bhd has secured and construction project located at Kota Iskandar Nusa Jaya recently. At present, the optimal gain structure of the company is as follow. So, yang ni tak apalah, dia dah bagi. This one we call as weightage. So, weightage ni, kalau macam ni dia dah bagi and the total must be 100%. It is given. Tapi kalau extract capital structure untuk naik for year 2018 as a follow. So 8% bond, it is a debt, which means that this one is KD. Sebab kita tahu kalau bond je kita debt. Sebab dia ada maturity date, ada annuity apa semua kan. So this one is KD, preference stock and common stock and retained earnings. Okay. Untuk kira KD, kita akan ambil 20,500 divide by total. So, you akan dapat 20.5%. This one. So, kalau untuk preference stock, 14,500 divide by 100,000. So, you will get 14.5%. Tapi untuk KE and KNE, this one and this one, kita akan campurkan dia. Kita akan classify dia as satu. Sebab kalau you ingat balik dalam video first I dah mention, kadang-kadang dalam soalan dia akan bagi tahu ordinary shareholders, premium share, and the others lah. So kita and the retain earning. So everything kita kena conclude as common stock. That's why dalam ni kita gabungkan 55,700,000 plus weight 9,300,000 and you divide, you akan dapat 65 So this is how you calculate the weight of financing untuk tahu dia punya weightage. Okay, this is the step yang kita dah cover. Okay, so apa yang tadi yang kita cover dah? Yang kita cover adalah untuk determine weight of debt, preference stock, and common to be used in financing future investment. So this one kita dah cover on the last slide, previous slide, and then lastly step yang kita kena tahu tentang compute the firm WACC by multiplying the cost of capital of individual financing sources by the percentage of financing. So this one you can change here as step 2. There is no step 3. So you have to ambil step 1 times with step 2 untuk dapat firm WACC. Okay, let's go to the example. Okay, so yang ni adalah example. Kalau you boleh tengok balik, you can refer on the previous yang kita dah kira. So common equity WOF yang ni, this one dia dah bagi. This one dia dah berikan dalam yang kita kira untuk weightage kan. So this one dia dah bagi, so kita just use kalau dia dah bagi weightage ni. This one is the weightage yang dia tak bagi dan kita kena buat, kita kena kira dari sum up the total. Maksudnya kita ambil contoh this one 20,500,000 kita bahagi dengan 100 juta. So this one dia akan dapat weightage. So this one is weightage yang dia tak bagi, this one yang dia dah bagi 70, 20 and 10%. So the COC yang ni kita dah kira in our past video. In the past video kita dah kira what is for KE berapa yang terdapat, KP berapa yang terdapat, and KD berapa yang terdapat. So this is just to show you how you want to calculate the WACC. So this one you have to times with the COC, you can get the WACC. So ni pun sama, you darab and you dapat the answer. And you have to sum up. You have to sum, tambah ke semua, you akan dapat 14.223. Okay, so this one pun sama. This one is after tax and then you have to times, last kali you have to plus. You will get the WACC. So this is how you calculate a WACC. First, yang penting you kena ingat the step. Step yang first you have to calculate KE, KNE, and then untuk KE and KNE you have to gabungkan sebab kita classify dia atau consider dia as common equity. And the third is calculate the preference share KP, and the last one is KD. So this one all how to calculate the WACC. After you calculate one by one, you have to calculate the punya WF, weight of financing. So weight of financing kita dah cover tadi. Once you dah times and you add everything, so you will get the WACC. Okay, next we continue to the marginal cost of capital, which is that we call as WMCC. Okay, in this WMCC you have to know because it is referred to the additional cost the firm will have to pay in order to raise an additional dollar of capital, assuming that the capital raised according to the optimal capital structure proportion. Maksudnya, sebelum contoh ni, if you can refer in your slide, kita ada proportion of the optimal capital, which means that in our common stock, we have already stated that 70% of the proportion is come from the common stock. So anything kalau kita nak tambah additional common stock, it must be within the 70%. So kita just go through on the example. So this one you may read by yourself. When there's need budget increase, more capital is needed, so company may issue the new shares. Okay, mostly benda ni berlaku disebabkan tak cukup modal. Maksud dia yang kita ada belajar dalam external. If you remember in the part 1 videos, I have explained there is external common stock, which means that bila return earning tak cukup untuk cover the project yang kita ada, so kita akan buat common external stock. So we will go through on the example. Okay, before we go through for the example, we have to know WMCC. We have to also calculate the maximum capital expenditure. Maximum tahap mana yang kita boleh buat on the capital expenditure. So, how much total expenditure can be raised or spent if we use all out of our retained earnings, internal common equity. This one is more related to the internal common equity. Internal common equity. For the second one, the cost of project exceed maximum capital expenditure, then company need to issue additional new shares to finance the project, which means that this one is external common equity. So we have to use the formula of the maximum the capital expenditure. So we have to use the retained earnings divided by the weight of financing component in the capital structure. So, with the additional new common stock or external equities change to the WACC to WMCC, sebab berlakunya additional new stock ataupun kita boleh kata external equity have been changed. Sebab kita tak cukup modal and then kita nak tarik ataupun kita nak buka issue a new stock, so it changed from the WACC to WMCC. So the example, okay, example pasal pre-sale ni, kalau you can refer back to your notes, in internal kita ada buat example on the pre-sale, in external kita dah buat example on the pre-sale, untuk preferred share, untuk KD, everything we have used the same case. So you may refer the illustration ataupun example untuk make sure yang you can figure out where's the amount have been picked up, dari mana amount yang diambil tu. You can refer from the previous example in KE, KNE, KD and KP. So the question is currently Prison has 6,500,000 retained earnings that can be used to finance a profitable project. The company has to fully utilize the retained earning before any new ordinary share can be issued. The capital structure represents 70% of equity financing. If the construction project worth 15 million, determine the weight marginal cost of capital. So sekarang dia nak WMCC. Dia suruh kita kira WMCC. So, kalau you jumpa soalan macam ni, first, macam biasa, I nak you keluarkan. Dia punya retained earning adalah 6.5 million. Dia punya weightage adalah 70%. Dia punya construction project punya price adalah 15 million. So you have to come out everything. So the answer is maximum amount of internal fund is, macam mana kita nak kira? which means that we have to use the CAPEX, capital expenditure, maximum capital expenditure. CAPEX formula adalah retained earning bahagi dengan percentage estimating the cost of structure. So the percentage of capital structure. So retained earning yang kita dah jumpa tadi 6.5 million, 6,500,000. So you have divide with the capital structure yang 70% weightage. So you will get 9.2 million. Also known as maximum capital expenditure ataupun kita tahu as CAPEX lah kan. So use internal fund retained earnings. So maximum capital using retained earnings adalah 9.2 juta. So tapi dia punya project tu amounted to 15 juta. So sekarang kita dapat membuktikan kata the amount is not sufficient to cover up the project sebab retained earning paling maksimum yang kita ada cuma 9.2 juta. Tapi the project is 15 juta. So we can cover the capital investment to the project. Therefore, they should issue new share to finance the project. So, bila kita dah tahu whether the company boleh cover dia punya project ke tak, so kita kena kira the maximum of capital expenditure. Bila kita dah kira dia tak cukup retained earnings untuk invest atau untuk buat project tu. Jadi they have to issue a new share. So, macam mana kita nak kira untuk a new share ni yang kita kena tambah ni? So, kita guna balik capital structure yang dah diberikan untuk present case tadi. And then untuk capital of cost of capital, kita akan guna KNE. Kalau you refer balik slide 17, kalau saya tak silap, you cari je the slide yang I tunjuk example untuk estimating cost of equity bagi external. Untuk KNE, kita dah ada buat. Dia tak silap example tu, you akan check balik, the amount is 60%. So this one, you just use the KNE percentage. Sebab KNE kan saya dah terang tadi, untuk external KNE kita akan, bila kita punya retained earning tak cukup, kita have to issue a new share to finance the project. So orang yang nak invest dalam company kita untuk cover up the project, we call as external. So kita akan gunakan KNE. And then for preference share, kita akan use the same amount, sama juga dengan debt, and we have to calculate lah. 70% times, you akan dapat WACC, and this one you times, you akan dapat, and this one times, you akan dapat. So, bila berlaku perubahan di sini, which means that they issue new share, this one, so daripada WACC, dia akan bertukar jadi WMCC. So, this one is the answer. Kalau berlaku tak cukup, not enough, ataupun not sufficient return earning. So, this one situation yang kita kena buat. Okay, this is the comprehensive example, so that I want all of you try untuk study by yourself. So you try untuk figure out what yang requirement yang diorang nak, and then you can do by yourself. And if you have questions, you may ask directly to me so that I could assist you. And this is the solution that you can refer. And anything, just ask me. so that I could assist you. So I think that's all for our class today, and have some revision on this topic, because this topic will be test on your test 2, and do more exercise on the calculation part so that you will be more understand, or you will try to remember what is the step that needed to calculate the WACC. So I think that's all. Thank you very much for your attention and for your time to watching this video. Okay, thank you and have a great day.